Hello students, today we'll start with a new chapter in biology, that is ecosystems. A very easy chapter. Many concepts in this chapter you have studied in your previous lower standards. Now ecosystems are broadly classified in two types. Aquatic and terrestrial ecosystem. And ecosystems have two components, two important components. These two components are abiotic components and biotic components. Okay, what does abiotic means? Abiotic means non-living and biotic means living components. First we will see abiotic components and then we will come to biotic components, because abiotic components are small and their understanding will help us in biotic components. So first I'll do abiotic components in your textbook. Open this topic, abiotic components, wherever it is. So now what are the different abiotic components? Now these are very simple, which you have known. That is, first is light. Now you know sunlight which we get on earth is very essential. Why? Because of this sunlight, the plants with the help of their leaves are able to do photosynthesis. Okay, and this photosynthesis helps plants to produce food. Okay, and this food goes to this photosynthesis help plants, and these plants are consumed by animals. So in turn, because plants are producers, animals are also benefited. Okay, now the animals also need light. There are many animals which come out only at night without sunlight. They are called as nocturnal animals. Okay, there are animals which can come in the day or in the night. In both times they are called as diurnal animals. Okay, nocturnal means only at night, like bats. Diurnal means normal birds like sparrow, crow. They can come at any time. Then the first component was light. Next component is temperature. Temperature is very important because the different temperatures, hot or cold, based on that temperature you have different vegetations like desert, like snowfall. The wildlife is also different in deserts and snow. Okay, vegetation, for vegetation means growing vegetables, growing fruits, farming. The optimum temperature is 28 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius for vegetation. Now there are animals who cannot withstand high temperature or low temperatures. For example, toads. They cannot withstand very low temperature. So in winter they go in hibernation. What is hibernation? They go inside the soil or inside their homes, or they dig inside and in a warm place and hibernate means sleep for few months. This is called as hibernation. There are animals like snails who cannot withstand high temperatures. So in summers, they also sleep. That is called as summer sleep, or it is also called as estivation. Okay, or some animals migrate from one place to another. Migration is also possible. Now, apart from light temperature, another essential component, a biotic component, is water. Water is very important because water is used for aquatic life. Water is used by non-aquatic life, for by plants to photosynthesis, for human beings, for animals, for growth of vegetables, for growth of crops, growth of flowers, trees. Water is essential. Okay, in the same way, air is another essential. Without air, without oxygen, or without carbon dioxide, life is not possible on earth. Okay, carbon dioxide is also important. Then fossil fuels are important, and these gases, along with oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, are present in atmosphere in adequate amounts. Okay, then the next component is soil. Soil is also very important to maintain the fertility. To maintain the fertility of soil, it is very important because it will help us to grow crops. Okay, soil should have minerals in them. Then many animals have their homes inside the soil, like rats, rabbits, earthworms. They live inside the soil. Okay, they burrow. Burrow means they make holes and they stay inside the soil. Okay, these are the abiotic components. 5. Light, temperature, water, air, soil. There is one more component, not so important, but yes, you can say humidity. Humidity is another component which affects transpiration. Next, we have seen abiotic component. Now let's see biotic components. Biotic means living components, which includes plants, animals, all organisms. So the biotic components are classified in certain levels. The first are producers. Producers are green plants. Plants which make their own food with the help of sun. With the help of sun, they make their own food. Okay. They are also called as autotrophs. Okay, so the first ones are plants. You can call them primary. Now, plants are eaten by, the next level is consumers. The next level is consumers. Now, consumers can be of different types. They can be herbivores. Herbivores means those who eat only plants. They are called as herbivores. Next can be carnivores. Carnivores means which eat flesh. Okay. And third are omnivores, which eat both plants and flesh, like human beings. Crows, cockroaches, bears, all of them eat plants as well as animals. Then the fourth one are scavengers. What are scavengers? Scavengers are those which feed on dead animals, like vultures, raccoons. If there is a dead body, if there is a dead body, the dead body is lying like this, the vultures will come and they will eat the flesh of the dead body. That is why they are called as scavengers. After death of plants or animals, these vultures will eat the flesh of the dead animals. And then Finally, after the scavengers have eaten the dead body, the last is decomposers. Now, who are decomposers? Decomposers are those microorganisms. They include bacteria and fungi. Microorganisms are decomposers are bacteria and fungi. Now, for scavengers, you can see the pictures here. These are scavengers, vulture and raccoon. Then decomposers, I said, are bacteria and fungi. The decomposers, what they do, after the dead body is eaten by vultures, the remaining part, when we say that the body is decay, when you say the body start decaying, it started smelling, dead body. Why does it happen? Because there are bacteria and fungi acting on that body. Okay. Now these bacteria and fungi are very important. Okay, they are present everywhere, even in the soil, and they play a very important role in recycling. Bacteria and fungi play a very important role in recycling. Another example of these scavengers is hyenas. They're animals, they eat flesh. And I told you that bacteria and fungi, they help in recycling the organic matter. Okay, recycling the organic matter. Okay, now let's study what is food chain. Now the interaction, first let's understand the interaction between biotic and abiotic components. Interaction between them. Now these, see, both are important for life to exist, for an ecosystem to build. Okay, abiotic like sunlight, air, water, humidity, soil, everything is important, and biotic like animals, plants, decomposers, scavengers, all of them are important, and they both combine and form a habitat. They form a habitat. They are very important components, and habitats are of different types. See, different places have different habitats. What are the examples of habitat? I'll tell you. Let's say a garden. A garden has a different habitat. It has flowers, it has butterflies, then it has some soil there, so it has a different habitat. Or a pond which has fishes, some aquatic plants, some worms, some water plants, that is a different habitat. Then a swamp. Swamp means a wet place which has bushes, that is a different habitat. So habitats vary from place to place depending upon the temperature and other many components which decide how a habitat takes place. Now, next important topic is food chain. What is food chain? So food chain means with the help of before the examples, let me give you a representation. Food chain means producers make their food. Okay, these producers are eaten by primary consumers. Okay, consumers are divided into three types: primary, secondary and tertiary. So primary consumers are eaten by secondary consumers. Okay, secondary consumers are eaten by tertiary consumers, and these tertiary consumers are finally decomposed by decomposers. Okay, this is the food chain. And what are the decomposers? It is the bacteria and the fungi. These are the decomposers. Okay, producers are nothing but the plants. Now the consumers which eat plants are called as herbivores. Okay, consumers which eat another consumers are called as carnivores. Okay, and these carnivores are present in on both the levels, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers also eat consumers, but they are called as top carnivores, means they are very dangerous. Okay, and remember, when one is eaten by another, the energy is passed on, like the plants get their energy from the sun. Okay, this energy is transferred to plants. Now when the plants are eaten by primary consumers, they take the energy, then the secondary consumer take energy from primary consumer, tertiary take energy from the secondary consumer, and this is how energy flow takes place. Okay, and after decomposers, again it goes back to the nature, so this flow of energy continues and the balance is maintained. Now, food chains is different in different mediums. There are different types of food chains. Let's take some examples of food chain. Like we can say, if there is grass, the grass is eaten by a grasshopper. Then the grasshopper is eaten by, let's say, a spider. Spider is eaten by a fox, and this goes on. This is one type of food chain. Or another food chain could be like this: leaves. The leaves are eaten by caterpillar. Do you know what is caterpillar? See, this is how a caterpillar looks like. It is on the leaf. They eat the leaf. Caterpillars. They are of different colors, different shapes. Now these caterpillars are eaten by some bird. Let's say some bird consume on these caterpillars. Then birds are eaten by a bigger owl. Owl is very dangerous. It feeds on different birds. Now these type of food chain can also take place in water. Okay, so inside the water, if you see, if you have aquatic plants, like you can call it weeds, these weeds are eaten by small fish, and these small fish are eaten by a big fish like a shark or a whale. These are big fish. So this is again a food chain. These are different types of food chain. Now, food chain looks pretty simple. You can see there is a linear form here, linear chain. But in reality, things are not as simple as a food chain. So in general, what happens is there is a complex phenomena. That means one organism eats 2-3 different organisms, and one organism is eaten by 2-3 different organisms. Okay, it is not like that grass is only eaten by grasshopper. Grass is eaten by cattle also, grass is eaten by another animals also, grass is eaten by grasshopper also, some birds also. That means multiple players are in picture. So that becomes a food web. When the complexity increases, we say it is a food web. Now what is food web? Food web is in which one organism is eaten by several other organisms, and it is a complex chain. Let's see this diagram. Let's see this picture. See here. Here you can see that firstly we have some plants, flowering plants, or say lavender. They have taken a flower, a lavender. Now these flowers are eaten by, now these flowering plants are eaten by butterfly. Okay, so butterfly has an option of eating any flower plant. Now these butterflies are eaten by dragonfly or by the frog. So even the frog can eat a butterfly, or a dragonfly can eat a butterfly. Okay. Then here you can see this corn flour. Corn is eaten by grasshopper. Grasshopper is in turn eaten by frog also and rat also. Both of them eat grasshoppers. Okay. So here if you see mangoes, see mangoes are eaten by fruit flies. Now fruit flies are eaten by thrush, a bird also, dragonfly also, or it is eaten by frog. So you can see frog has an option of eating grasshopper, butterfly, fruit fly, dragonfly. Okay, so several options. Now that is important also. Further also you can see rats. Rats are eaten by wolf, or rats are eaten by python. You can see python here. Okay, rats are eaten by python. Rats are also eaten by eagle. Rats are eaten by wolf. So many people are eating rat. And these eagles are also eaten by other animals, but we are studying only a limited food web. Now why these food webs are important? Because see, for example, for some reason, let's say there are no lavenders, so butterfly has an option of eating flowering plant, correct? For example, if this python want the rats are less in number in a particular area, let's say the number of rats have reduced, so who eats rats? Python eats, eagle eats, and wolf eats. Now if the rats are reduced, it will not happen that python will die. No, python can also eat frogs. You can see this arrow. Python can also eat frog and survive. Okay, or python can also eat wolf and survive. So python has options. In the same way rat has options. So food web says that even if the population is population of one particular organism is decreased, the every organism has options, alternatives. It has alternatives and it can consume the another organism. Okay. You can even see the examples of food webs in your own textbook. Now these were food webs. We have seen from the picture they are complex. Food webs are complex. They provide alternatives. Okay, and each organisms have is consumed by and consumes different organisms. Okay, because of which our ecosystems become sustainable. These are three important parts of food webs. Okay, now you have to understand that we as human beings are influencing the environment. Okay, we are influencing the environment. How are we influencing the environment? Because of our population, because of industrialization, okay, which causes pollution. Okay, then there is urbanization, means we are cutting trees, cutting forest, cutting mountains, and making buildings and buildings for people to live. Okay, so these are all the effect because of which humans are affecting the environment. So this is called as cultural component. Cultural component which affects the ecosystem. Okay, balance is very important. Now, animals are dependent on plants. See, animals are dependent on plants, and plants are also dependent on animals. How is so? How is that so? Let's say see some examples. Now, animals depend on plants for food, like herbivorous animals eat food. They take they eat plants and live. Okay. Then animals also get oxygen from plants because plants give out oxygen, take in carbon dioxide, so respiration. Plants help animals in respiration. Okay. Now How does plants depend on animal? Let's see. And one more thing, animals also get pure air because of plants. Okay, they purify air. In the same way, how animals help plants. So plants need carbon dioxide. See, animals need oxygen they get from plants, but plants need carbon dioxide and that they get from animals because animals give out, breathe out, exhale carbon dioxide. Okay, then plants pollination is done by animals. Insect pollination is done by animals, where the animals, flies, small bees, they take the fruits, they take the seeds, sorry, and they take the pollen grains and transport it to another plant. Okay, then plants also get nutrition from animals. How? Dead animals give nutrition. Animal waste, when gets mixed in soil, it becomes nutrition for the plants. Okay, so you can see how animals are dependent on plants and how plants are dependent on animals. Now this is called as interdependence. Both are essential for the ecosystem to exist. Okay, next we'll study what is ecological pyramid. Now what is ecological pyramid? Ecological pyramid means, what is a pyramid? What is the shape of a pyramid? It is triangular in shape, in this way. Now what does this indicate? It says that organisms at the lower levels, see, these are called as trophic levels. These are called as trophic levels. So organisms which are at lower trophic level are always greater in number, and organisms which are at higher trophic level are less in number. Like for example, grass is eaten by deer, and tiger preys deer. Tiger eats deer. He hunts deer. So grass is large in number. If you count the number of grass, there may be millions. Deers, if you count them, they may be lakhs. But tigers, if you count, they are few thousands. So you can see how the lower trophic level, the number of organisms in the lower trophic level are more, and then it keeps on decreasing as we go higher. Okay, even in terms of energy, if you see, so the energy levels are also high in lower levels. In energy level, if you see, as you go up, the energy level decreases. The energy level decreases because grass have highest amount of energy, then few energy gets transferred to deer, and even less energy goes to tigers. Okay, tigers may be more powerful than deer, but the transfer of energy is less. Okay, this is how a pyramid works. Okay, we can also see this pyramid in inverted form. Sometimes there are inverted pyramids also, like this, inverted pyramids. Inverted pyramid means one producer supports a lot of other organisms. Like for example, if I say plants, now who eat plants? Herbivores eat plants. Okay, now these herbivores, the parasites, I will explain you what are parasites. They consume herbivores, they live on herbivores. Okay, and herbivores live on plants. So in turn, these plants, which are less, but the number of herbivores and number of parasites are more than plants, these are called as inverted pyramid. Although this pyramid is more important, Normal pyramid is more important. Okay. Now next is what is the interaction between different organisms in an ecosystem. Okay, next we will study what is the interaction of different organisms in ecosystem. Interaction. Now there are three types of interactions: symbiosis, predation, and parasitism. I'll explain you each one. Symbiosis is also called as mutualism. What are we studying? We are studying interaction between different organisms. Interaction between organisms. Okay, so here, see, what is symbiosis? Symbiosis means when two organisms benefit from each other. Okay, so there is one organism A and one organism B. They are interacting with each other and both are benefiting from it. That is called as symbiosis. Like an example could be algae and fungi. Algae and fungi, they both interact with each other. Okay, now this fungi provides water or shelter to algae, and algae provides food to fungi. So they both are benefiting in this interaction. Then predation. Predation means that if there is interaction between two, only one is benefiting, another is not benefiting at all. Like if there is a tiger and if there is a deer, the interaction is tiger eats the deers. If tiger eats the deer, tiger is benefiting, he's satisfying his hunger, but deer is not getting anything in return. So this is called as predation, when there is a one side relationship. This is called as predation. Now what is parasitism? Very important. Parasitism means one organism lives inside another organism. Okay, lives inside another organisms, takes all the food, nutrition from the another organism and doesn't give anything in return. Okay, see, in predation what happens is one organism kills another organism. Okay, he directly kills it, so relationship ends. But in parasitism there is a relationship, they both are living, but one is living inside another. One is living inside another organism and there is a negative relationship. Negative relationship means only one is benefiting from the relationship. Okay, so let's say A is called as a parasite and A is living on B, so B is called as the host. Okay, so A is living in B. Example is let's say leech. A leech may sit or feed on cows or buffaloes. The leech may sit on cow or buffalo. Okay, it will keep sucking the blood. The leech suck the blood of the cows and buffaloes. Okay, the cows and buffaloes are at a loss and leech is benefiting, and they can't even kill the leech. I'll show you the example. how it works. See this. This is a leech. You can see this leech sits, for example, it sits on our body. You can see it puts his mouth, stings on our body and sucks the blood out. Okay, it is not easy to pull the leech out of our body. It takes a lot of pain. So these type of leeches, these animals, they prey on cattle especially. They keep sucking their blood and they keep growing in size unless you pull them out. These are called as parasitism. Now the last topic is forest ecosystem. Let's understand what is forest ecosystem. There are three types of forest. Tropical forest, tropical rainforest, then there is temperate forest, and there is boreal forest. They are also called as coniferous forest. Coniferous, or you can say in snow. These are three different types of forests. Now in every forest there is a different type of flora, and fauna. What is flora? Flora means plants, trees found in that area, and fauna means the wildlife, the animals found in that region. So for tropical, temperate and boreal, all three forests, there are different types of flora and fauna found. Like for example, on the tropical forest there is a lot of rain. Okay, so there is a lot of rain, a lot of sunlight, and so the trees, they have large trees. Okay, they have canopy. You understand what is canopy? Canopy means the forests are so dense that you cannot even see the sky. They are so dense. Okay, for example, you can see if there are trees like this, if there are trees like this, continuous trees, you can see if someone who is standing here will not be able to see the sky because it is entirely covered because of this dense forest. This is called as canopy. And what are the fauna which are found? Large number of animals and wildlife are found here. Okay, you can say snakes, frogs, amphibians. You understand, amphibians which can live in water and land. Okay, mammals, all are found in tropical rainforest. Now there are temperate forest which are found in northern and southern hemispheres. Okay, they have tall trees, they have wide leaves, tall trees, and in the temperate forest there are four seasons. You know the seasons, there is winter, spring, summer and autumn. All four seasons are there here. Okay, and there are different types of fauna here. Fauna, that is all types of bears, black bears, turkey, snake, raccoon are found in this temperate forest. These type of animals. Then the boreal forest, coniferous forest, they are in snow regions. Okay, snowy regions where the plants are fully covered with snow, and they are also called as permafrost. permanently frozen parts of the plants are called as permafrost. Permanently frozen. There's so much of ice there that they get freezed, those parts. Okay. The taiga forest is an important example of boreal forest. And then what kind of animals are found here? There are hawks, owls, okay, snow bears, snowshoes, snowshoe rabbits. These are types of rabbits. All these are found in. Okay, these are different types of forest, and they have different types of flora and fauna. Okay, that's it about the ecosystem chapter. Relatively easy chapter. That's it for today. Thank you.